Hello everyone. This is going to be the last video. We'll be finishing up the MapHandler and then creating a MapLoader class to actually load all these files, all the maps. First of all, I found some mistakes that I made in the last video. Some spelling errors should be map at, and same thing, update map at, and the same thing. And that, and some commenting error should be bottom left, bottom right, and top left, and top right. And you may have already figured out that I forgot a return statement over here. And that should be it for this class. And I also, prepare, internet, spelling mistake again. Alright, and I found another mistake inside the map settings class. If you try to build this class, because if you remember from the previous videos, I copied this map settings from the editor class to the scripts class, and the editor class can't support the editor utility functionalities. Any editor classes will be supported because you'll be importing Unity editor. Unfortunately, these map settings class will be located under the normal folders, which will be inside the data folder after you build the game. So unfortunately, you cannot have Unity editor import statements, so this will not work. If you try to build it, it will work right now, but if you'll try to build it, it will return error. Well, when you try to build it, it will throw an error. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have the main method, which will create the settings file, provide us the data settings data. So let's change that and call it settings data, and we'll have to load it. You can delete all these and just do that. I found that out when I tried to build it. So that's that. Should be it. We can close the other settings file. So we need to create the MapLoader class. Alright, let's create a new class. Let's call it MapLoader. This will be the mono behavior class. Yeah, so that means we need to import Unity engine, and will not be under any namespace. And also Unity 4 supports namespaces, but I just like to keep the Unity functions outside a namespace. So we're going to be deriving from mono behavior, and if you remember from earlier, we have the interface called MapLoader. So this will be the class which will implement the MapLoader. That means we need to import our using statement and that, and we need to create the function, and we'll be that. And let's delete this and import systems.collections also. Okay, and group these together, and that's that. Alright, so let's implement this method. This method will simply call coroutine, start coroutine, and it will just pass the method that was given us. It's just that, just simple as that. And then we need two methods to call start and update. Okay, so first we need some public variables. We need the this loader class will be attached to a camera, which will actually draw the planes. So first variable, we need the actual map handler, map handler, which we will be creating, and then we need the public, which is the player we'll be following, transform player. And so that means we have to explicitly specify it. And then we need two new variables to keep track of the time. Map check. So the map check will be happen every 5 seconds. And then float map. Actually, no, let's call it timer. This will be incremented every frame. Okay. So first, let's load the asset bundle. Var bundle equal asset bundle dot create from file, and then you make sure you specify the entire path from the root. If you specify just the data path, just the relative path, it will work inside the editor. But if you try to build it and try to play it from a standalone Windows, it will not work. It will throw an exception. You don't even know where it comes from. I had to scratch my head when I did that, and I couldn't figure out what the problem was until I started playing around with all these paths and all that, and finally I figured out that was the problem. So you got to get the absolute directory. So I'm gonna get the absolute directory. You can't use the data directory, unfortunately. You can actually get the application.data path, but this means every time you rebuild it, you have to manually copy and paste the actual the map file inside the data path, unless you build the player from a script. But unfortunately, I'm not building the actual player from the script. I am going to be building it from the actual Unity editor. So I'm gonna get the actual path. It will be located outside the data path. So get current directory, and our friend string.format. Let's use that. Okay, and 0 and 1. Okay, and that will be the first path, and then the other one will be the actual map. I think I called it map data.dat. I think that's what I called it. Make sure you name it right. This is the asset bundle that we created earlier. Let's make sure it does exist. It's right there, and let's place it inside a new folder called data. This is where we will keep all the asset bundles that we build. So it will be under, let's reload that. It'll be under data and mapdata.dat, and then we need to load the settings data for the map settings. So we need to load it from the bundle. If you remember, actually it will be the main asset. If you remember, we build it as the main asset. So main asset as text asset. Since it's a text file, you have to cast it as a text file. If settings data equals null, let's let the user know that there has been an error. Debug.error. Settings file cannot be found inside the bundle, and then return. Okay, if we did get the settings file, let's create the settings. Var map settings equal new map settings, and then let's provide the settings data. Settings data dot text. Okay, just that. And then we need to create our map handler that we created earlier. Map handler equal new map handler, and then we provide a MapLoader, which is our class. So I'm providing this, and then the asset bundle will be the bundle and the settings map settings, and then the layer. So okay, so here comes the, this important part. Okay, so let me first show you what can go wrong. Let's say you do this public int layer mask layer, and let's go and let's create our main camera, which will be following around. Right now we don't need this snapshot camera, so let's disable it. Make sure you disable it, otherwise if you run this, it's gonna go taking snapshot and overwriting all the screenshots that you already got. So let's create another camera and then call it overhead cam, OHC. Okay, and neat audio listener, no layers. Okay, let's create orthographic. This will be the camera which will be following our player, and it will be rotated 9 degrees and place it 0, 0. And let's zoom it and zoom it out and make sure it's over 200. As I mentioned. As I mentioned earlier, our plane's going to be offset by 200 in the y direction, so let's have it a little higher than that. It doesn't have to see the terrain. This is just going to draw the actual plane, so you don't really need that much for our plane. And okay, So then size, I'm going to set it to 80. Doesn't matter, you can set whatever size you want. Okay, and then make sure you set the clear flags to depth only, so we'll not try to draw the skybox. Let's attach the script that we just created. And where's that? MapLoader. Okay, and then from the standard assets, let's grab the first person controller. If you don't have that, go to assets, import package, character controller. Okay, we have the first person controller. Make sure it's over the terrain, otherwise it will start falling down. Let's attach that to this, and then let's choose layer. Let's create layer. Let's call it map. Sorry about that. Let's call it map. And why is it complaining? Huh. Okay. I don't know what that's about. And then we're gonna set the layer to map. And here is where the fun begins. So let's say you load that layer. You might think that if you go to the layer, it's number 8, but it's not number 8. If you remember, if you already know, the layer is treated as a bunch of flags. So if you try to print this layer right now, let's say map layer, no, just layer, it will print a number which is higher than the allowed layers. So, okay. Why is this? Oh, that's true. And to cast it as an integer. Let's see what number it comes out. I guarantee you it's not 8. Okay. Give time to compile and play, and it's 256, which is not 8. As you can see, 8 is 2 to the 8 is 256. As you can see, it's the flags that it actually sets, not the actual number. So we have to explicitly get the layer name before we actually begin coding these. So to get the layer name, we can call layer mask dot layer, actually name to layer, and then we can provide map. So make sure whenever you change the name the name of the layer, you also have to change inside here, or you can't just provide a value, a string value, to actually let the user provide what layer he wants. But in this case, I know what layer I want, so I'm just going to leave it like that. So it's just that, and what we're going to do is we need to move the actual the camera to 0, 0. To the player's position. So this dot move cam, I need to create that function, and let's say player dot position. Let's call it position. Let's bring it down. Void, and what we're gonna just simply this dot transform dot position. I call it position. Nope. It's not JavaScript. Vector 3 position dot x position. Oh, actually, we're not changing our current position, so we're keeping the y position unchanged. Position dot z. Okay. Okay, and now next thing we need to do is we need to actually start the actual map handler. Map handler dot start and provide the same position. Player dot position. So we'll start the actual map. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move the actual map wherever the player goes. So we're going to move the cam to the player dot position, and then we need a timer. So this dot timer plus equal time dot delta time, not time, if timer greater than map check, we are going to update the map. Map handler dot update map add player dot position. Okay, and then we're gonna reset the timer. This dot timer equal 0. So this will happen over and over every 5 seconds. So the map will be checked every 5 seconds. Also, you can actually make it even more optimized by only moving when needed. You only when the player moves, you can just move the camera. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. Okay, and next thing is just to check to see if it's working or not. Okay, let's go back and see if we have any errors. Okay, and oh, that's true. I completely forgot. Void. Never mind. And then we forgot the unload method. Okay, then let's provide a public method called unload. You can call this from any other method. This will unload the current MapHandler.unload, and then we'll set it to null. Alright, and I don't think there's any error. This reference missing. I'm not sure where that's from. Okay, I hope it should work. Let's play, see if it works or not. That is not what I wanted. Okay, script behavior is missing. Where is it? Let's make sure we are not missing. Huh. Let's okay, I just fell down, and I don't know where this script missing is coming from. Let's check to see if it's coming from inside. Make sure there are no, I don't think any main cameras here. Okay. That's not missing anything, and that's fine. Okay, let me pause the video and find out what's going on, and I will get back to you guys. Alright, before we do that, and we definitely need to check the layer of that to be the map. This minimap camera is only going to be drawn whatever layer underneath the map layer, which will be the map planes. Okay, it was nothing. Actually, I had to reopen Unity. I think it forgot to clear out the warning from last time. Okay, so let's play it again, and let's actually shrink the map to fit the actual screen. So let's decrease the width. Oh, okay, 0.15. Height 0.15. Actually, it's 2. Let's make it 3. And let's move this all the way to the side. 0.85. And then let's make it all the way to the top. 0.7. Okay, let's maximize and see if that works. Okay, that looks good. Let's remember these values. 0.85, 0.5, okay. Okay, and it should be, it was 0.85, 0.3, and this was 0.7, 0.8, I believe. Okay. Alright, let's make sure it actually loads the mini-maps. Let's maximize and do force split and go to the top view and go textured, and where are the maps? You can see the maps are right there. Let's make the person move and make sure that it actually okay, where is the player? I cannot see him. Okay, he's not moving. What's going on? Okay, am I on pause? I don't think so. Okay, where's the game view? Haha, we're missing the game view. Where the heck is it? Let's go show it up. Okay, let's make sure it's actually moving. The first person is over there. Okay, let's move it all the way to the top. And I set the speed so high, so he's moving really fast. Alright, let's make sure that the other segment loads. There it is, it loaded. So we got these two segments, it's just loaded. Let's move to the right, make sure we selected the player so we know what direction he's facing. Okay, let's move to the right. And there it is. So we got these segments just loaded. So as you can see, the loading times are not that bad. If you have lag spikes, if there's a pause between the loading times, the reason is the textures. If you actually build your textures with high quality and two huge textures, it's going to take the actual asset will be loaded asynchronously, but to draw the texture, the CPU takes time. It takes time to actually draw the actual texture. So that's the reason. So make sure you don't build your textures with high quality. So, and I think that's pretty much it. I think we're at the end of the tutorial, and let's actually build it. Building is always a pain when you're dealing with asset bundles, because the path and all that, and also how you build it, what platform you're building it for. If you don't build it for the correct platform, it will work fine inside the editor, but it will not work after you build it. So let's build it and to see if it's actually working. So let's build it as development build. This will show if there's any error. So, and let's build it, and let's call it, this is, I built it earlier, so I'm going to delete the test folder. Let's call it my Minimap, and then let's call it MapLoader.exe. Okay. There is an error. Okay. Let's not sure what it is. Haha. As I mentioned earlier, yes, I forgot to delete this editor statement, and that's why it showed up. Okay. Let's rebuild it. Same folder. Okay, let's give time to compile and build. Okay, it's just built and it has to open the folder. Okay, before you run the game, make sure you go to the folder and copy the data directory that we had earlier. Otherwise, it will not work. And this is the directory that I specified. So we specified that the data directory will be under system.io get current directory. So this is the current directory. Do not place it under MapLoader.data. That is application.data path. If you want to use that, of course you can, but you got to make sure you got to copy and paste every time you build it. So that's the drawback of doing that. Okay, so where is that? Okay, see that, and let's, I don't know where I built it. Okay, there it is. Let's run it, and let's run it as windowed mode, and let's see if there's any error. There's no error. Congratulations, we got everything working. Okay, so that's that, and this is the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, I will be actually offering an alternative probably in the few next videos, how to do it in a free version, which is not hard. It's just not a reliable mechanism. It's not a reliable solution, actually, I would say. What I was going to suggest is instead of loading it from the asset bundle as we're doing it right now, if you make the textures and the plane really small, and if you increase the grid, in this case we're doing it by 2 by 2, but if you increase the grid and reduce the textures, it can actually, instead loading it from an asset bundle, we can just load it from resources dot load. That is one option. You can do that. You can just use the resources dot load. This is only if your asset is really small, if the planes are really small, and you can do that. But I'm skeptical that you will be able to see any major spikes if you do that. But that means you don't have to build the asset bundles, and you can place the resources under the resources folder. And the other solution is to actually, if your map is really small, if you're not building it for any major game platform, what you can do is you can actually get all these planes that we built earlier, and you can place them over the map. So each scene has its own minimap. You don't have to do any coding or anything like that. We don't have to have MapHandler or anything. You can just place them on top of the map. Since the textures, the texture quality you build is not that high quality, it will not consume as much memory as not doing anything at all, as to the solution that I had earlier. The duplicating terrain is much more worse than actually placing these maps on top of the terrain, so which is more efficient than duplicating the terrain. So I think it's much better than what I had earlier. So this is the two solutions I was going to suggest, but if I come across another one, I would definitely more than happy to post or make another video about it. So thanks for watching my